Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back for the review of Married at First Sight, Season 13, Decision Day. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, now Houston, we have a problem was not in the title, but y'all know I'm gonna get into it as I get into it. I'm confusion. Child, I am confusion. First of all, let me just jump the gun and say that the previews for the reunion, that's what I'm looking forward to, honey. This could have been a Zoom call. I mean, we already know Jose was going to be Josean and Rachel was going to say yes to him, Josean. We already knew that. Child, this is some stuff that we could have just sped on past, okay? I need to know how Gil grew a full-on beard in a matter of 4 episodes. And he was looking like he was giving some zhuzh. So, honey, somebody was upgrade you. Can I upgrade you? Shout out to Beyonce and Jigga Man. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how did he get the zhuzh if Miller didn't give him the zhuzh. But then Miller was sitting next to Johnny, and Johnny was saying that, child, I don't know, honey. Look, I am ready for the reunion. And that's all I got to say on that. If you are new here, then welcome. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so rude, honey. I get so hype. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. We are here for Decision Day. We see the singles getting up and getting prepared. You know, Johnny is steaming his shirt. You know, everybody's talking and whatnot. Rachel's saying she's going on a run to clear her head. Girl, you gonna say yes. Let's move on. Michaela, she's like, you know, I'm not nervous at all. I'm just ready to let it be known. Exactly what is that? Okay, child. Moving forward. Mirla and Gil. Mirla. Okay. Mirla. Let me just say this. Love the dress. I love the boots. I see the red bottoms, girl, but I love them separately. I don't love them together. And, you know, I know you said you don't do the makeup of it all. And, girl, now it's looking like you went in and dipped them 2 fingers. I remember I used to dip them 2 fingers in middle school and then smudge that eyeshadow on to try to give myself some zhuzh before 7th period because I knew that my boo was going to be in there. Now, this is looking very much 7th period, 7th grade. Now, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. You did look cute. It's like I wanted each piece to be put with something else, and I wanted that eyeshadow gone, honey. It's giving very much reminiscent of Virginia when she was sloppy drunk, honey, because y'all know Virginia was gone off that liquor down the aisle. But that's what it gave me. Season 12. Moving forward. So Gil shows up in his pastel blue suit, and Mirla tells us how kind Gil is and how she's never had to guess how he's feeling. Which, that's the truth, because Gil gonna talk if he don't do nothing else. However, we all know that when they do the math, they're doing the math differently. The math ain't mathing for the 2 of them. Okay, 1 + 1 is not equaling 2. And let me just say this. Dr. Viviana, those shoes are sickening. And baby, Dr. Viviana knows she gonna put a dress on if she don't do nothing else, honey. Baby, that thing knows she be sitting upright, don't she? I'm sorry, I just had to add that. That's just a side note. Let's continue. So she's like, you know, we had such beautiful times together, and she had all great and amazing words for him, right? So then we hear from Gil. He says, you know, she started out negatively and slowly came around, but, you know, I found that a warm hug brings her joy. He said, you know, I love her kisses with her soft, full lips, but can I do this for the rest of my life? I don't know, Gil. Can you do it for the rest of your life? You know what I couldn't do for the rest of my life? If I were Mirla, I wouldn't be able to sit here and listen to you put me down all day, every day. That's not what I could do for the rest of my life, but that's just me. So she comes in all smiles, child, strutting her stuff. So Pastor Cal asks how they felt, and he said he feels good, and then if he doesn't know by now about Mirla, he'll never know. If you don't know me by now, you will never, ever, ever know me. Shout out to Simply Red. Dr. Viviana asked about the wedding, and Mirla starts saying, yeah, I hated the wedding. Oh my God. Okay. She's like, yeah, I never really wanted one. I hate meeting new people. Girl, you are literally on a show about marrying a stranger. He's a new person. Girl. So Mirla talks about her being touchy and how she went from 0 to 100 real quick. And Gil was like, no, you probably went from 0 to 45, then to 100. So she's confused. And, you know, Gil has to make sure he reminds her of everything he doesn't like. So, of course, y'all know Dr. Pepper had to ask about intimacy. She's like, are you still smooching or are you going to Pound Town? Now, she didn't exactly say Pound Town, but y'all know I like to zhuzh it up. Shout out to Clara from season 12. So anywho, Miller was like, no, we have not. We have not consummated the marriage. Here go Gil. Actually we did 2 weeks ago. Oh, he talked too much. Clearly, she didn't want nobody to know, even though we already knew, honey. I know I already knew. When she started walking that dog, I was like, he put it down, she fall in love. Honey, something had to be going on for you to be walking that dog. She didn't like that dog. That dog was slobbering on the floor. That dog was looking when it shouldn't have been looking. And Mila didn't really care for that dog. But the fact that she was walking it told me that you were walking her. Okay, moving forward. Pastor Cal said, well, I have a question. Is that your wedding ring? She said, no. Did you see it? It was ugly. Okay, Mirla. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Mirla, I'm all for you, speaking your speech, girl. Pipe up, speak your speech, speak your truth. Say what it is you're going to say. You said what you said and you ain't changing it. I love that you're direct. But you have to have some tact with your directness. Okay, you can't just be saying whatever you want all willy-nilly. Girl, what is wrong with you? So then he asked Gil about her negativity. Child, this is Gil's time to shine. He loved to say something about her being negative. So he tells her again about how her moods make him upset. He doesn't like to be mad. He doesn't like to feel down. He doesn't like the way her energy shifts his energy. Okay, he doesn't like it. So then they talk about the finances. Gil said he's not driven by money. And her goal is to be a millionaire, but he'd be happy with a couple thousand. He's happy being a thousandaire. Gil, stop talking about her being driven by money. It's like you're saying it as though money is the most important thing to her in this world. Outside of family and everything else, it's just all about the money. That's the only thing that motivates her. The money is the motive. That's all she cares about. Shout out to Lil Wayne. It's like you don't make it clear that, okay, she has a savings. She wants to attain a goal. She wants to reach millionaire status. Me, on the other hand, I don't mind humble beginnings and humble endings. Okay. But don't keep saying it as though because she wants more, that's negative. Because who's to say you not wanting enough is not negative? Boy, goodbye. Anywho, so she said, I really feel worried because I've been working toward my goal my whole life. And to have someone say, no, that's worrisome to me. And I'd be worried too, honey, because I would feel like they don't want to grow and they want to stifle me and have me be the only one compromised. I wouldn't like that. So then Dr. Viviana said, we thought the love in your heart would help you get past the finances. Were we wrong? Mirla said, yes, you were wrong. Oh, child. Yes, you were definitely wrong. Okay. She said, how we live is very different. Dr. Viviana said, well, he doesn't like it or he doesn't care about it. She said both. He could live in a box. He's like, no, I couldn't. She said, no, you literally told me you could live in a box. I know that's right, Mirla, honey. Put it all out there. She likes amenities. So basically, Gil wants to clip his coupons and tend the farm, and Mirla wants a penthouse in the sky, honey. It's giving very much Green Acres. Moving forward. Listen, Gil don't want to spend no money. And that's just the bottom line. He don't want to earn no money. He don't want to spend no money. I don't know what exactly it is he wants to do and how he expects to live. I don't know if he's planting his own food. I don't know if he has a rotary phone. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but Gil don't want to spend no money. Charlie probably bald so he wouldn't have to cut his hair. I don't put nothing past Gil. Nothing at all. So it's time for their decisions. Mirla, would you like to stay married to Gil? Mirla said, I enjoy being with him and I enjoy my husband and I feel like he doesn't judge me. Mirla, are you present? Okay, girl, all he does is judge you. But honey, that's not for me to say. She said, as far as everything that we've done, I would change all of it, but I wouldn't change him. Girl, not you would change all of it. Oh, something is wrong with her. She's like, for me, it's a yes. So Gil goes back to her being driven by money, oh child, and her moodiness. And after knocking her down a peg or two, he tells her that he's in love with her. Listen, I was witnessing a running theme with this decision day. You build them up to knock them down. Like I'm just, child, okay. So basically, look, he knocked her down a peg or two, but then he tells her that he's in love with her. He said, I want to stay married. Good luck, y'all. Couples cam, here they come. Bao and Johnny. They both looked nice. Johnny is not wearing that blue shirt and them khaki pants, so honey, that's a nice change. Bao came in red. Slip on your red dress. Let your hair down. Shout out to Johnny Gill. My. Bao looking good tonight. So then we hear some things from Bao. Bao said she did this to start a life with her forever person. But instead of a stranger, she married Johnny Lamb. He's cute, he's successful, and makes her feel comfortable in group settings where she feels anxious. She said, but he has unrealistic expectations of her. Okay, regular baths. He sabotaged their marriage, and he is doing that to guard his heart. Bow, I hear you and whatnot, but you have endured 8 weeks of foolishness, 8 weeks of verbal abuse, 8 weeks of gaslighting, 8 weeks of humiliation, 8 weeks of embarrassment. Okay? So I hear you with the, Johnny Lamb and all that. I hear you. But honey, it's a no. Okay? So Johnny said, she's cute, she's quirky, she's ready to try new things, but hide certain things. Her lack of maturity was a turnoff. Her lack of immaturity. She's the immature. Okay, child, because I really don't have time for this tonight, honey. I guess she's the immature one, honey. Let's proceed. And who wrote the first part? Okay, because I was listening to the nice things he said, and I said, clearly production gave him them little note cards and said, Johnny, stand right here and read this, okay? It's going to be a voiceover, so they're not going to even see you. They're not going to know that I wrote this, okay? Because we know you don't have nice things to say about Bow, so I'm going to give you some. And my other question was this. Why couldn't you say any of that to her during these 8 weeks? So they come in. He said they look good on paper, but they don't work. Who does that sound like to y'all? Y'all remember last season when Chris kept saying that him and Paige looked like the perfect married couple on paper? We look great on paper. Shut up, Chris. Anywho, shout out to Chris from season 12. Oh, child. This is comical at this point. So everyone, when they came in, everyone is saying how stunning Bow looks and how red is her color, honey, and is. Baby Johnny's just sitting there looking crazy. Okay, then when she sat down, he didn't even compliment her. Oh, honey, you don't have to say it. All of us out here in TV land, we see it, and the expert show see it. So keep your compliments to yourself. So Dr. Pepper asked Bow, what were the best moments of their marriage? Probably this one, honey, because she can break free. But anywho, let's see what Bow has to say. She said, there were many highs and then some lows. What were the highs? Were they getting high or were there highs? I was a little bit confused. And he said the small moments, they give him hope. And he wants more of those moments. Johnny, you always talking about what you want more of. Okay, sure. But when she does those things that you want more of, you will find yet another way to get upset. So then Dr. Pepper asked about the challenges. Johnny said, just knowing how to communicate efficiently. He said, how not to run, because that's all I've ever done is run. And the fact that I'm here, that I made it here, that says a lot. Because the old me would have ran and I would not have made it through that. Were we watching the same show? Okay. So they asked Bow if she agreed. She said no. I know that's right, Bow. Bow said, I call BS, honey, and I don't blame you. She said, I do feel in many ways that he's been running. And he told me that if he didn't sign up for this, then he would have walked away. And she feels like she's lost her voice. She said, I felt like in arguments, I couldn't really speak my speech for fear that he was going to get loud. Okay. Now, I didn't really personally hear Johnny get loud, but I heard him hit below the belt. I heard him spew venom. I heard him get real down and dirty. Now, I did hear him scream when he went in that other room like you were just causing him to go insane. I do remember that, but I don't remember the arguments going above a normal octave. Okay. Like, I guess the words were so piercing, you thought he was screaming. So he said, sorry, that you felt that way. And I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I mean, I may get to this tone, but I never yell at you. Johnny, it doesn't matter the way that you spoke to her. You don't have to yell it. You could have wrote it in a note, honey. You could have sent it in a text. The end message would have still been the same. Boy, goodbye. So he said, most of our conversations, I'm listening to you. Okay. She said, I think we have very different recollections. We sure do. We sure do, honey. I don't remember any of that. Johnny, are you sure that it's Bow that likes to look good in front of others? Because right now you're playing in my face. Like, you're playing in my face, you're playing in the expert's face, and you're saying things that you think sound good, but yeah, you're lying. Okay, you just flat out lying. Let's just put it like that. So Johnny said, Bow wants there to be one right person and one wrong person. And I could say, oh, yeah, my bad all day long. But I mean, can I do that for the rest of the marriage? Well, honey, you ain't got to wait too long. Let's continue. So then Dr. Pepper asked about Sarah backstabbing Bow. And he apologized for talking to Sarah. He's like, but, she was the only one that understood. She was the only one that I could turn to. And I just, at the time, she was saying negative things about you. And I needed that. I needed to hold on to that. Did all y'all do was talk, honey? Because this sounds like one of those I turned to her and it just happened type of speeches. Y'all know when the man cheat with your best friend, on the Lifetime movies of it all, and then he's like, she was there for me and I didn't have anyone else to turn to. And that's exactly what this is sounding like to me. So, Johnny, I'm watching you. Moving forward. She's like, well, I really felt betrayed, as you should. So it's time for their decision. So Johnny said, it's really difficult. Johnny, get to it. We've gone through so many highs and lows. Johnny, get to it. He said, I'm going to say, yeah. Let's see what happens without the cameras. When I tell y'all, I was like, what the? Listen, I don't cuss here on these reviews, but I was cussing at that screen. My mouth was wide open. You know what? Now I feel like Johnny is being fake. Okay, now you being fake. I don't know what you're doing. I think you're saying yes so that you can play the victim, so that you can turn right back around and go, well, see, I was trying to make it work, but then the way that she treats me is just like Sarah said. Johnny, honey, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. I mean, I could pick you up and throw you, but I still don't trust you. Moving forward. Cameras or not, she was still going to be Bao. So what you're saying makes absolutely no sense. It sounds exactly like what Zach was saying about Michaela. She was still going to be nutso whether the cameras were there or not. So y'all ain't making no sense. So then Dr. Pepper asked Bao, she said, I thought I was sure coming into today. And, I didn't anticipate how hard it would be. And then the music changed. Bao said, my answer is no. Bow, 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 boom, 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 boom. Shout out to Hurricane Chris and shout out to Bow. When I tell y'all I was in here screaming, okay? I was in here screaming like the Astros had won the World Series. Okay, let's just get into it if we're going to get into it. And baby, I was proud of Bow. The fact that she stood up for herself. She said, no, I will not be attacked. I will not be belittled. I will not be made to feel terrible about myself. I will not let someone tell me that my joy is too much just to say I'm married to Johnny Lamb. Girl, you better speak your speech. I know that's right, y'all. Anywho, she's like, I was so unhappy in this marriage and I just can't trust that things are going to get better. Honey, and won't. He's like, I thought, what's the harm in trying? You should have tried 8 weeks ago. Okay, you browbeat her every chance you got. Baby Bao walked away with her dignity, left Johnny with his mouth wide open. Then she kind of turned a little bit and looked at him as she was walking out the door. Deuces. Shout out to C Breezy. He's like, well, in his little confessional, was our marriage really that bad? Yes, you nincompoop. It was really that bad. So, child, he's sitting there with wet eyes. Child, suck it up, Buttercup. He's like, it hurts. Imagine how she felt. Go call Sarah, honey. I'm sure she's free. Bao, you made the right choice. She knew that nothing would change. And she's like, it doesn't add up to me that he wants to work it out now. The math ain't mathing, girl. She said, I don't trust anything that Johnny says. Honey, as you shouldn't. Moving forward. So now we're 1 and 1. One is going to stay married and one is not. Brett and Ryan. Child. Ryan says she's extremely compassionate. They have a lot of differences. Yeah, y'all sure do. Like she's scared of her own shadow and she's a little slob kebab. But other than that, he said this marriage isn't what he envisioned. Brett said she was ready to make it work. He's a Southern gentleman. She said he says one thing, but he does another. Brett, honey, this dress, it's a no. Brett, I want you to wear something that's flattering to you. Like, I feel like you can give the zhuzh, but just buy clothing that flatters your figure. So anywho, Ryan comes in, probably fresh off a date. I was like, look at Ryan, child. Probably just got done eating dinner. Do y'all hear me? So Pastor Cal asked, what was the best part of their marriage? Ryan said, our banter and how awesome Brett is. She said his ability to give to others, and they do have a good time together. Well, child, I guess we missed that. So Dr. Pepper said, well, I have something I want to deal with you, Ryan. I know you want to be a good guy, but how does a good guy get on a dating app? Master P, is that you? Nah. Baby, Master P said, listen, Ryan, okay? She said you were a Southern gentleman and whatnot. We love the Southern charm of it all. Shout out to Bravo. But you are not going to get away with getting on that dating app. Not on my watch, baby. And y'all already know Ryan got a little fear of Dr. Pepper. So, child, she was really getting into it. Pepper, I hope you deal with Michaela tearing up that recreational space and Jose in the same way you dealing with Ryan, okay? Now, it's not right that Ryan was on that app, but I want everybody to be held accountable, not just him. But anyway, Ryan, let's hear it. He said, we talked about it and I'm very apologetic. I never meant for it to happen. Huh? I said, what now? Dr. Viviana said, it didn't happen. You did it. He said, yeah, I know the connection. It didn't happen. You know, I have a type. I am 35. Ryan, well, how is that working out for you, bro? How is it working out for your type? Okay. And what are you saying here? Because it's like you're talking in circles, but you're not actually saying what we need to hear. Like, this isn't making any sense. So Dr. Pepper said, well, you've had plenty of your type and nothing happened. He said, you know, I was trying to force feelings and I was trying to also keep Brett in consideration. Brett said, if we're being honest, I was waiting for feelings too. Or were you now? You said you had a crush on him. You also said he was the David Hasselhoff to your Pamela Anderson, given the whole Baywatch zhuzh of it all. So, I mean, I know right now, Brett, you know, you say what you say, honey, to make it feel better. We understand. But, I mean, you definitely were not waiting for the feelings. And that's okay. She said, but, you know, I don't know why he didn't understand that you have to create those feelings. So Pastor Cal said, is there anything she could have done? So then Pastor Cal started running down all of her good qualities. She's this, she's that, she's beautiful, she's an upstanding citizen, she doesn't jaywalk. I mean, she's given the zhuzh. She is wife material. So what is the issue? Is what Pastor Cal wanted to know. And I think he took off his glasses. And y'all know how Pastor Cal is when he take off his glasses. So then they asked Brett, they said, do you think Ryan was ready for marriage? She said, no. Well, honey, duh. So both Brett and Ryan wish they would have both been more open with each other and communicated more. Now, I want to say this since we're at decision day. It's both of them. Okay, yes. Ryan did get on the app. He was not communicating. Brett wasn't communicating either. Because when Pastor Cal told Brett the assignment, she misunderstood the assignment. Because when she got home, she didn't do nothing. She fiddled around with that ring and did not do one thing that Pastor Cal asked her to do. And I think that they're both good people and they both could be good separately. It's just that they were afraid of hurting each other. And one of them didn't want to communicate about the issue. And then the other one decided to panic and he jumped on a dating app. That was the craziest thing in the world. Like, Ryan, why would you get on a dating app, bro? You're halfway there. Okay. More than halfway there. So, I mean, hold them up, swallow them up. It's going to be fun. Then they asked their decision. Brett said, you know, we can be friends, but I'm out. Baby, Brett didn't waste no time. Do y'all hear me? Brett was like, child, I got somewhere to be, honey. We're going to be friends. We cool. Ryan said, you know, I agree. Divorce it is. Child, I'm surprised Ryan didn't let out a big sigh of relief, honey. I was looking at him like, okay, now, Ryan, breathe. Okay? You're looking a little flushed. Go ahead and breathe, child. It's over. At least they didn't stay and try to force feelings. I do respect that. Hopefully they can both find their person. Nothing left to see here. Michaela and Zach. Let's just have a moment of silence. And we're back. She said their chemistry was so intense, but the flame died quickly. He doesn't feel she can change. She can't imagine life without him, but she may have to. He said, you know, she's smart, she's resilient, and has a contagious laugh. She's very thoughtful, the most thoughtful woman that he knows. But they have differences. He says she loves him, but he wants to be sure that he could love her. Michaela comes in. Michaela, makeup, yes. Hair and outfit, no ma'am. No ma'am. And let me just say this. I am a member of the natural hair community, but you still need to judge that hair up, whether it's natural or not. Moving forward. So Zach comes in and Dr. Pepper asks what Michaela's version of the marriage was like. She said it was a learning lesson and, you know, we had some beautiful moments, but we also had some lows. So then Dr. Pepper asked what the good times were for Zach. Baby, Zach pulled out a note like he was about to give a Grammy speech. I said, oh, Lord, what is about to be? Child, not another bee analogy. Oh, child, let's see. So Dr. Pepper said, is that for the good times or for the decision? Like, what is that for, honey? She wanted to know what the cliff notes were for, okay? Because you got to watch Zach, child. He said, this is for the marriage. This is for all of this. This is what this is for. Child, not your vows, the remix. So he reads his vows, part 2. And he basically said all of her foolishness, he wouldn't change a thing. And he thanks her for loving him. And he knows now that he loves her too. Okay. When he said that, I took a refreshing beverage break. Always Coca-Cola. What are you talking about, Zach? What are you talking about? What are you what was the reason? In my Cardi B voice, what are you talking about? It was all worth it. It was worth her saying with your and all of that, tearing up that place, taking your okay, you know what? I'm not about to get my pressure up. You are confusing lust and love. You've never been in love, Zach. This ain't it. Okay, you don't love her. Okay, so she starts crying. She said, just to hear that coming from him, it really means a lot. It means he cares. So then Zach starts to get emotional, honey, because y'all know Zach gonna cry if he don't do nothing else. He gonna keep them wet eyes. He said, I'm thankful. For what, sweetness? For what? What are you thankful for? For what? Okay. Well, what are you talking about? You're thankful. He said, outside of my mom, she's the most amazing woman that I know. Zach, your mom gonna kick your ass. You hear me? She gonna kick your behind comparing her to Michaela. Now, you could have said anything else in the world, but you gonna compare your mama to Michaela, tearing up that retreat. Okay. So Dr. Viviana said, okay, so for the people that were following your journey, like the three of us, now you all are gushing. It looks very different. Please explain. Child, we all lost. To me, this is a trauma bond. Okay, this is what I'm witnessing. They've gone through so much, and now it's like they're bonded together through the dysfunction. That's what I'm seeing. So he said, actions speak louder than words. So the fact that she's willing to do stuff and have conversations, it means she either loves me or she's crazy. Okay, I'll take the latter for $200, Alex. Somebody said, or both. Honey, and is. He said, her words match her actions. So Michaela starts lying to herself and to us. And she said her going off the deep end is not okay, and she's going to work at it not happening again. So she said, as far as my answer, it's yes. I want to see what the future holds. Some arrest records. If y'all stay together, y'all gonna be on America's Most Wanted, okay? Bonnie and Clyde ain't cute, okay? I'm just saying. So now it's Zach's turn. He says, I want to get a divorce. Security. Security. When I tell y'all, I was like, Michaela is about to explode. She gonna tear that place up. I know the experts were scared as hell. I know they were hanging on and sitting on the edge of their seat. Like, I know this boy didn't just say, I want a divorce. They were all looking shocked, right? Dr. Pepper said, I don't know how to interpret this. I don't know what you're talking about. Honey, I'm so lost. He said, no, I want to get a divorce, but it's not a bad thing. I want to divorce the last 8 weeks. Huh? Say what now? So are you divorcing the last 8 weeks as if you want to just forget about it and start new, but you want to stay married? Or do you want a divorce? But what are you saying to us right now? Okay. Zach, I hope you dressed up as the Riddler for Halloween, because, honey, you're giving very much riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat? Honey, I'm not understanding what you're talking about. Like, this is just insane. So Zach said, I don't know what we're going to do. It's not that easy for us. It seemed pretty easy for her. You mean it's not that easy for you because you're confused. It's like you might like something about Michaela, but you don't want to completely cut it off in case you got to dip back over there. Okay, so you just want to give her a little bit of rope so that she knows, listen, I don't want to stay married to you, but I don't mind getting to know you. Maybe you're not as crazy as a person. Child, please. Zach, just cut the cord, okay? Let it be done. You're being given an out. Just take it. So Pastor Cal said, Zach, I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan of you, but I think you're putting a nail in the coffin and you don't realize it. Honey, he's trying to make it out alive and you don't realize it. Michaela said, do you want to be married to me going forward or not? He said, no. I want to see where it goes, but I have to get a divorce. She said, that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't give me encouragement. And child, I was like, child, you better give us something before all hell break loose. I'm just saying, Zach. He said, I have to do this for me mentally. Make it plain, Zach. This is what you should have said. I care for you, but I care for me more. Okay? I mean, she does have your address, so I kind of understand. I'm just saying, honey, I don't know if Zach and Bao decided, listen, we're going to go in there and treat them exactly how they treated us. As soon as we get them all geeked up thinking all's well that ends well, boom, we want a divorce. Child, I don't know what's happening. So Pastor Cal said, well, I hope you understand what you're saying. Y'all stop trying to change this man's mind. He said he want to get a divorce and he want to sit under a tree with a bee or whatever it is that he said, honey. The answer is they walking out of here separately, but they still together, but they separate. But they still get it popping, but they separate. Oh, child, this is a fool. Y'all see how stupid I sound saying it? Just like that. Anywho, he's trying to leave a door open, okay? And that part isn't fair. He's the guy that says, it's not you, it's me, to soften the blow because he doesn't want to hurt her. He doesn't want to look like the bad guy. And he doesn't want to get unalived. Okay, so he's just trying to say something to her to soften the letdown. Now, that's my assessment of it. That's my opinion. But in the end, I'm lost. Okay, so y'all tell me, are they divorcing each other or are they divorcing the past? Like, I'm divorcing this season. That's what I want y'all to know. I'm officially divorcing this season. So then in the little confessional part, Zach was like, she didn't remember what I meant by that. I mean, I told her she doesn't remember, but I said what I said. Honey, he said what he said and he ain't changing it. Moving forward. She said his decision was stupid and she's not getting it. Child, Zach didn't want to look like the bad guy. He needs to work on his delivery with anyone moving forward. Nobody is going to understand you always talking in such confusion. Just make it plain. Use simple words with 2 or 3 syllables and lay it out there. Don't be afraid. I understand you might be afraid to reject somebody, but y'all just say it, honey. Rip the Band-Aid off. No. The answer is no. I've been put through too much. I don't want to stay married. The answer is no. Child, this is a fool. She would have respected you more if you would have just said, look, although I feel all of that I said to you, I still have to walk away. That would have made you look like a stand-up guy instead of sitting in confusion. So they leave and everyone is confused. So Dr. Viviana is like, he wants to look like the good guy and say, we're still going to be friends. Everyone wants that, but hardly anyone ever gets it. So she and Pastor Calhoun, they debating about Zach's singleness. Y'all just want to keep up y'all numbers of these matches. Okay, give me a break. These two should be walking away single. Now, he might not have said it right, but the answer was the correct answer. We should not remain married. Moving forward. Child, Dr. Pepper just shaking her head, honey. Dr. Pepper tired, child. Good luck to them both. Rachel and Jose. Jose said Rachel is the wife he prayed for. She's kind. She cares about his feelings. She cares about everyone, and she does little things for him. He loves that she likes sports, but she needs to work on being financially set, and her past worries him. Charlie worried about that ex and how Rachel liked to cheat a little bit, okay? She got a little lying problem. He said if Rachel said she wanted a divorce, it would be hard to come back from that. Yes, because y'all would be divorced. Okay, Hoseing again. Got it. So Rachel said she loves him so much and she loves so many things about him. She said, he can be a little controlling. And she's like, my heart is in love, but my head has doubts. So they show up. Jose looks nervous as hell. They're color coordinating, so that's a good sign. Okay, every time you see them matching a little bit, we might be making it to the finish line. So Pastor Cal asks how things have been over the last 8 weeks. They both say how wonderful it was, and you know how they like to do, child, pulling an Eric and a Virginia. It was wonderful, we're great. So then Rachel brings up the deadbolt, and she said the way he argued scared her. So Jose deflected, Hoseing again, and went back to her wanting to leave. You locked her out. Okay? She didn't just get up one day and say, it's a beautiful day to leave my marriage. Yes, let me get out of here. No, you put her outside, you cussed her out, and she decided she didn't want to put up with it. But then she came back because she made you say sorry. Boy, goodbye. So anywho, Pastor Cal said, the beauty is you all disgusted. No, I'm disgusted. Okay? That y'all are not addressing him and this abusive behavior. Like, he needs to be held accountable. The same as Michaela. Instead of y'all giving her hugs, telling her, it's going to work out for you. Everything's going to be fine. I don't want people to get lost on what happened throughout the season. Yes, we are here at Decision Day. Yes, Zach, I don't know what you just did. Okay? I can't condone it. But at the same time, Michaela still did what she did, and nobody addressed that. Jose still did what he did, and nobody addressed that. But y'all addressed Ryan and his dating app. Everybody needs to be addressed. Child got on my nerves. I just wonder why they didn't have the smoke for Michaela and Jose like Ryan and that app, okay? So Jose said, I was really hurt. I was upset. All I hear is how Jose feels, okay? Jose was upset. Jose was hurt. So Dr. Pepper asked if he truly trusts Rachel. I can answer that for you, Dr. Pepper. Absolutely not. He said, I fear that she'll leave. So Dr. Pepper asked about their decision. Child, their little segment was like 2 minutes long, okay? Even the experts were like, child, Rachel and Jose ain't hitting on nothing. They both gonna say yes, so let's just move forward. Jose said he really cares about her and she does the little things, so it's a yes. Rachel said this whole marriage, everything seemed perfect, but they learned that it's not perfect. Child, nothing ever is. And she said yes as well. Shocker. Good luck, girl. See you around the Lone Star State, because that's the only place you're gonna travel. Jose, don't do too much Joseing when these cameras go down. One day after Decision Day, Bao says she's going to miss so much. She's like, I'm going to miss having coffee out here with Johnny. And Michaela said, that they're in a marriage purgatory, but she's in it. Okay, girl, must have got that spin a night bag and went over there last night, y'all. Anywho, we see Mirla and Gil taking a rainy day walk while Mirla talks about the zhuzh she's given. So everyone gathers one last time, right? Which I thought was strange. I'm like, why y'all gathering? Okay, anywho. Jose tells the group about their decision, and they're now Rose. I will not be calling you Rose. Absolutely not. Gil said he chose to say yes because it's a tax break, child, and I believe him. But Gil couldn't wait to tell the group they got it popping, child. He's like, and we've also consummated the marriage. And Mirla was leaning back like, and did. Baby, Mirla was like, oh my goodness, child. Brett and Ryan reveal that they both said no. I mean, as they should. Gil's being a little bit judgy. Gil, hush. So Michaela reveals that she said yes, and Zach said no. So then Zach was like, decision day was the worst day of the 8 weeks, but they're still in it no matter what. That was the worst day of the 8 weeks? Now when she was acting like Jason at a summer camp during Friday the 13th, that wasn't the, okay. Child, I just want to make sure, child, not that was the, okay. He said that was the worst day of the 8 weeks, but they're still in it. Zach just want to be able to make a clean break should she piss him off. That's what I'm getting from it, okay? He can be like, I'm not married to you. I don't want to talk to you no more. Block, delete, erase, and all of that, okay? Bao said the question was very clear. Do you want to stay married, yes or no? Well, honey, Zach added maybe. You know how when they used to write you love letters in school? Do you like me? Check yes, no, or maybe. Honey, Zach is the one that'll check maybe. Gil said, so what if she cut you off? He's like, well, then I'll be fine. And judge from the look on his face, y'all, he definitely would be fine. Brett said, you know what, y'all? Just do you. It don't matter if we all confused, got whiplash. Who cares? I laughed so hard when she said that. I was like, Brett is crazy. And let me just say this. The whole time they're talking, Zach looks terrified. He looks tired. He looks terrified. He looks disgusted. Zach, you do not have to continue to put yourself through this torture, honey. If you don't want to be in it, then don't be in it. So Johnny is back in that gray shirt, and he's saying, I said yes because I felt like, what's the harm in saying yes? It's not like you're buying a car. Like you're vowing to stay married to someone that you're going to have to treat with some respect. So what's the harm in saying yes? I mean, I wasn't doing anything else. Shut up, Johnny. You just sound crazy. Just please be quiet. Bao said, I said no because I feel like I was never in a marriage. And so Gil said, so what if, things would have been different? What if she said, no, it's too late. It's too late to apologize. And that was the end of the episode. Child, this episode was a mess. Decision day, Mirla looked like she had some of those 25-cent martinis. Ryan talked in circles. Zach gave us another B analogy without the B. Brett, I'm side-eyeing you a little bit because the streets is talking. Bao stood up in her red dress and stood up for herself. And I'm going to miss singing your theme song, Bao, but we'll see y'all at the reunion because, child, it looked juicy. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought of Decision Day. I mean, we pretty much predicted it, okay? So, I mean, I'll see y'all for the live Saturday at 5 Central Standard Time. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.